Having us. This is really exciting. My name's Frank Kerr. I'm one of the co-owners of Local Laundry. Local Laundry is all about Canadian-made garments that build community. And it sounds a little silly how holding companies build community, but how we do that is by really representing where you come from, giving back to the causes that you care about, and by only manufacturing entirely here in Canada. And that's always been a big part of what we do. I mean, prior to 1989, over 70% of all clothing bought and sold in Canada was made in Canada. Over 70%, and as of today, that number is less than 6% of all clothing bought and sold in Canada is made in Canada. And that's something that we're trying to change. And we want to showcase that just because we're a small business doesn't mean we can't have a big impact. Hold for applause.
How do you do that though? Like as a business, right? Like margins, I would imagine, in clothing are tight to begin with. How do you do that? You employ many people in Calgary, you're making clothes in Calgary, and you're giving back. Like, how do you balance all these plates?
Yeah, it's definitely a balancing act, but that's where the fun part comes in, right? So we do it a number of ways. Really, how you build a community is one authentic relationship at a time, and that's where I think we really differentiate ourselves. Is we want to have real, genuine, authentic relationships with people that work for us. So we don't actually make the clothes in Calgary; they're all done in Ontario. But we have a close relationship with our manufacturers, close relationship with our decorators, with the causes, with our customers, every single person. And we really talk to them and figure out what matters the most to them. And that's why we don't have one specific cause that we're tied to. It's not like, all of the money that we're raising is going to this cause or this cause. Because there's so many different causes that are important to the community. So we're what we call cause agnostic. And I really think that when a small business can really just be all in on their relationships, every single one. If you order something online from our online store, you're going to get a personal thank you video from myself. If you come down to the warehouse to buy some clothing, we're going to make an absolute massive big deal. You're going to be walking out of there with candy, with socks, with everything.
I went there. I had to.
And I think that's how you, over time, that starts to culminate, and it starts just as if you're building a perfect wall, with one perfectly laid brick at a time, it starts to gain momentum on itself. And it's taken a lot of hard work. We have no outside investors, no long-term debt. There's actually only 3 of us in the whole company, and we've been able to grow, to sustain our growth. We've only ever put $1,000 into the business. And it really just, when I keep going back to it, just goes back to how you treat people. People want to do business with good people, right? That share their values. And if you can go out there and you can just show that you care. We're one of our manufacturers' favorite companies to work with. We're not the biggest, we're not the small, we're their favorite. And the reason why is because we're the only ones that say thank you. All their other clients, they're massive, they have millions of dollars of orders, we're the only ones that say thank you, right? And that's the kind of community that we want to build. Shared values and leave the place a little bit better than we found it.
And you're not joking when you say you're making videos to say thank you. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but he's making a video right now.
There are literal term too.
That's one of the things is you have to invite people in on the journey. People want to be a part, they want to be supportive. One of the best parts is we have one of the most amazing communities because 2 things. We invite people into the journey, and that's one way. Let's do stuff like this and putting ourselves out there in videos. But the other thing, I'd say our biggest superpower, our biggest key to success is we ask for help. Whenever we need something, we just throw it out there. Perfect example, we got this warehouse, and it was way more expensive than we thought. We had no money for office furniture. So we made a video and say, hey, we have a big warehouse now and we have no money for office furniture. Does anyone have any extra furniture they want to just give to us? And within 2-3 days, we have companies, people dropping off couches, chairs, desks. You come to our warehouse, it's one of the fanciest warehouses you'll ever. And it's all because people just stepped up and wanted to support us. But they wouldn't have if we didn't ask. A lot of entrepreneurship these days, especially with social media and that kind of thing, it's all about acting smart, looking cool, driving the fancy cars. Like, we know nothing. We know nothing when it comes to running a business. We're not the coolest kids, we're not the most fashionable. I drive a 13-year-old car, we are not millionaires, but we are just so addicted to people and getting to know each other and not too afraid to look like dum-dums in the room. Just like when we don't know how to do something, we're gonna ask for help.